Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, on the show this evening as the one and only AK and my big mucker, Southside. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Oxford. Evening, Southside, the techie team and everybody that's listening.
Evening, Ox. Good to be on with AK tonight, Friday night, a couple of days before the game. And good evening to everyone listening in this evening. I'll give William and Stephen a shout out on our YouTube feed that are in the now, and everybody else out there listening to the show this evening.
Hi, how are you, AK? How are you?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine.
Aye.
Listen to the show all week. Everybody's been in good form, so I'm looking forward to tonight. Good show ahead, hopefully.
Aye, how are you, Southside? That was good news for Fox today, wasn't it?
Aye, that was good. Aye, it's always a good achievement, that, isn't it?
Brilliant, mate, brilliant.
But, aye, I'm fine, mate. Looking forward to the night. Hopefully we'll get a few callers in and talk about the game on Sunday and anything else about the Rangers, I know, mate. Loads to talk about.
We know it's not a tie, it's grabbing everybody's attention. We get that, AK, yeah?
Okay, aye, but you've still got to get your name in the next round, and that's what it matters, no matter who's in front of you. It's a step up for Fraser, right enough, but I'm still expecting a comfortable win.
I agree, mate, I agree. You've got to win the game, Southside. You've got to go with the right attitude. You've got to show the right determination. Doesn't matter who you're playing,
Aye, got to make sure that you're focused on the day for the game. It is lower opposition, but it's a cup tie. And sometimes you can get put out in the cup. But we're at home, and I think you'll put out a strongest team to start tomorrow and Sunday. And aye, we should be looking to go into the next round of the cup, Hawks, as long as we apply ourselves properly.
I agree, mate, I agree. I don't particularly see any problems, but you never know, and that's football, UK, isn't it? If it was that simple, we'd all get 6 results up every week, wouldn't we?
Is that a wee subtle dig there towards
No,
not
at all, mate, not at all.
Aye, 6 results. What's hard about that, Southside? I don't know.
You trying to emphasise something here, AK?
This is it, big man. This is it. This is the weekend where you get them up.
Don't know if we're doing one this weekend or not. It's a cup, isn't it?
Oh, we'll maybe see you later on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe see you later on. Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll go to the manager's interview. And we'll maybe get some update on some of the injured players. Maybe try and see if we can piece what the team will be tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Interesting to take your takes on Albert's thoughts and who you would play in goals tomorrow night. Just before we go to that, I just want to clear up a couple of things that sometimes things happen on all the shows are live, and just to say that Rangers Radio has nothing but respect for all our fellow Rangers fan-led media. But sometimes individuals can get carried away on social media, and it takes issues to the extreme. This says more about them as individuals rather than the whole of this wonderful support collectively. So just be careful. A lot of things are live, and once you write something or you leave messages for people, you cannot take them back. Right, okay, we'll hear from the manager, and then we'll try and piece together what the team's going to be tomorrow. So let's hear from the gaffer, Philip Clement.
You've made the changes to your European squad. Could you give us an insight into those decisions and how you reached them?
Firstly, that it's always difficult. And the most difficult that we could only make 3 changes. So that made it even more difficult. So we have Danilo back in the squad. He's gonna, he was unlucky with his shoulder, with that contact and a bad fall. But he's gonna start training next week with the group again. So he will be normally fit for these European games. So that was a logical one. Yanis Hadji, to get him in the squad again. is a very logical one, and Clinton Asiala instead of Nana was also a logical one. Then so that were 3, and I could not do more. So that's a pity. So the 2 players who fall out because of that is Rafa Fernandez is just here, and we have the other centre backs fit. It was also difficult to keep Clinton out or to take somebody else out for Rafa, and then it should be Clinton because we only had 3, and Oscar Cortes. And with Oscar, it's the same story as with Danny in the beginning of the season. So he was a long time out. It will be more beneficial for him to have a good schedule from 1 game a week and focusing on that, and like this to have a normal comeback than to have every 3 days game and no rehab in between or extra exercises in between. So we need to bring him back in the correct way.
Was it a tough one around Rafael Fernandez? Naturally, when you bring a player to the club, you would want to include them in Europe.
Yeah, but I explained them, and those are the rules. So I don't make the rules from UEFA. So he understood the story, and he's going to give his best, like he's been doing the last couple of weeks, to integrate well into the team. He's doing that in a good way and to prove himself. There are still a lot of games to play in the league and in the cup also. So it's about him competing with the rest and to show his qualities and to grow as a player. He's still a young player with not the experience at this level, but we had already a very good example with Clinton, that things can go really fast if they're very ambitious and they want to work really hard to get better. There's a lot of staff who want to help them to make them better players. So we want to make a story like that with Rafa also.
I'm sure Oscar Cortes is more frustrated than anyone, but how frustrating from your point of view as well, that he can't really seem to get going?
No, but it's different things that happened along the way. Different injuries, not connected with each other. Most of them also out of contact. So I hope for Oscar that this 1 year that everything happened, and for the rest of his career he will not have problems, because it's been mostly bad luck.
When do you expect Oscar to be back training?
That will still be a few weeks. So we have a few ones who will come back short term. So like I said, Danny will be back normally next week. I expect the week after Dujon Sterling and Leon Belligan back. Ritwan is back already in training. Leon King is also back in training after his concussion. And the others, it's a little bit longer. I don't want to put 1 week on it, because I don't want to force my medical staff into a corner.
Philippe, well, obviously with Oscar's transfer situation, he signs for the club in the summer, the club's committed to paying the money for him. Some fans are thinking we've not seen enough to justify that fee. Are you still confident that he will be worth the money?
He has a fit. Oscar has proven that. So it's about us as a club getting him fit again. He's still a young player. So for sure he will do that in the future.
Well, Cameron, how excited are you for him coming in?
I'm very happy that he comes. Okay, it's next season. It's part of our plans that we have with the club to develop young Scottish players, or to get young Scottish players with potential, to give them chances also. Lal did already a lot of good things in Dundee. I think he scored 18 or 19 goals already in 82 games, or 83 games for Dundee, so that's almost 1 out of 4. So those are really good stats. He has the right mentality. He really wants to come to the club. We had several talks about how I see him play, what he could do for the team. So we're really happy that he can come next season.
How long have you been in negotiations with him? How long have you been enticed by him, wanting to get him here?
You don't need to know everything, but we had enough talks with him that he understands what Rangers is. And of course, Scottish players know it more, but you need to live the building, you need to live the club also to know things. It's different. Like for Conor Barron, it was also different to come here and to play. but he knew also really well what this club is about, and we're looking for that kind of characters also, not only good players but also players who can cope with what it is to be a Ranger player and to have the right mentality. And Lyle showed that in the talks.
Why did you make the decision? Why did you make the decision not to try and bring him in this month, and you're happy to wait for him till the summer?
At the end, that's a financial decision, of course.
So not something that did you ask the board to make that call? Did you push the board to try and get him in earlier?
No, we all wanted him to come as fast as possible, but it was not possible. So we need to wait a few months longer. Sometimes it's the case. With Jefte it was also the case. We wanted him in January last year. We pushed really hard for that, but at the end it was not possible, and 6 months later it was possible.
How big a shift is it going to be, Philippe, to mention there, to develop young Scottish players and bring them in? Is that a big shift in Rangers, something that's been missing in your eyes?
No, I don't want to speak about the past. I was not here in the building in the past. I was not following all the decisions that's been made in the past, and it's of no importance. So there were moments that probably more Rangers players, more Scottish players and less Scottish players in other moments. It's a clear strategy from the club, what we discussed before the season, that it was a very important part. I started last season with that I had to keep, in the second round, 3 players out of the selection. Now I still have to keep 2 players out of the selection. It's not good. It's not good for the players also. It's also for Scottish football important that these young players get chances to develop at this level, and we want to try to help and to push with that.
Philippe, we've seen for a number of years now players signing pre-contract agreements and are still playing with another club for 4 or 5 months. What do you make of that situation? Do you think it's unfair on the player, and it takes a bit of character to see it through, I suppose?
Yeah, we will get to know also the player really well. I want that he performs really well at Dundee, because otherwise he shows also that mentality can drop really fast. So I count on that, and I don't have any doubts with Lyle Cameron around those things. It happens so much now, it's public, but a lot of times these things are not public, and people just wait until it's June to tell you guys that the transfer is made. You guys know also that not all transfers are made in June or July and August with players or contracts made. So it's really open, transparent, it's good. And Lyle will give his best for Dundee. That's also what I expect from him to do, and to show that he's a good player, and to develop also with Tony the next couple of months to come in as strong as possible towards this club. If the player wants to go on holiday now for 4 months because he trained at Rangers, that would be a really bad sign towards me, and he would not be fit also to start the pre-season really well. So everybody benefits when he's performing well, and he will do.
Last couple of questions, please.
Philippe, given that the window is now closed, how well equipped do you think your squad is to compete in the second half of the season?
We as a club wanted more. We talked about that. At the end, we didn't achieve all the goals that we wanted. And now it's about with the squad going full for everything we want, and that's to win every game. That stays the ambition. It's a really high ambition, I know. But it's my ambition also in every club that I am, and to keep on developing this group and to make it better. And maybe because we missed something in the transfer window, it will give an opportunity for somebody else to blossom. Can be. Maybe we lose a little bit more time than we expected on the trajectory that we wanted to make with the squad. Can be also. It's about getting the maximum out of the group and to focus on that. And that's what I'm going to do.
Looking at the Scottish Cup this weekend, how big an opportunity is this competition to win a trophy this season?
Yeah, it's one of the 4 chances that you have before the season, and some are the route is shorter than others. So it's a difficult one to say we missed one because I'm still on my. That will stay on my stomach forever with the penalty situation there, with the League Cup. So yeah, this is one of our goals, to win the cup. So it's a very important one.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I don't know where to start with some of that, but we did pick up that a good few of our injured players are slowly coming back to join the Southside.
Aye, he's mentioned that. He'll be back in training shortly. Probably some that he was spoke about. And it was good to hear that Dujo and Sterling will be back at some point in training. Because we were wondering about him, weren't we, for a wee while there, Ox.
And the boy Cortez, there was a bit of debate about him, AK, and look, Southside's mentioned on here before, he's never had an injury. We get involved with him and he gets an injury or two, maybe even three. You know, I just think somebody's putting pins in a doll when it comes to our players.
Aye, sometimes it seems like that, mate. But setbacks, that's part of football, I suppose. Just need to hopefully recover. Suter was kind of, you know, with Hearts before he came to us, but we got to the boat, mate, thankfully, and we've got a player in our hands. And Suter's missed out the team when he's not there, so Cortez and Danilo, if they can come back and be the players that, you know, why we showed interest in the first place, then they're going to be an asset for the team.
Hopefully. So the opening gambit was a European squad, Southside, and I think the three players that he added, I don't think there's great surprise there. Maybe Fernandes and then Salah might have been fighting for places, but Salah looks more settled. We'll see, obviously. Sunday we've seen a cameo for Fernandes, but let him get settled and we'll see where it takes, is it?
Aye, it's probably the most sensible decision. Boy's trying to settle in, and he's been playing quite well. So probably the right decision was made on Nsiala. We've got obviously the experience of Balogun, and you've got Suter and Proper. So Fernandes possibly would have been maybe similar to Nsiala. Maybe one of the three will play before him in a European game. But it's good to have him there, and if he does want to play him, then if he's playing well and believes in him, as she's trusting him, then so be it. But I think that was a sensible decision, and I think it's probably right that he left Cortez out as well.
I don't think you could have put Cortez in there, AK.
No, I think so. No, just obviously with the scenario with his injury. Danilo was a bit different because he's intimated he's coming back in training, and by the time we play the European game, he's got another 4 or 5 weeks recovery period. So hopefully he should be up to speed to be available selection. So as Southside said, I think it's quite sensible picks, to be honest with you. The only thing was obviously the new signing and debate whether he was going to include him, but to be fair to Nsiala, he's come in and he's acquitted himself really well, part of the squad. So, aye, sensible decision.
I've enjoyed some of his performances, mate, if I'm honest. By the way, a special shout out to young Leon King, Southside. Deserves a break, doesn't he? He boy deserves a break.
Aye, he's struggled. Obviously, he had his wee cameo through concussion, which is unfortunate for him. But the fact he's going to be still in part of the squad and that, it'll be good for him. And let's say he could go and play a couple other positions should need to be required if he was called upon. But I think the defence, with the amount of defenders, I think we're covered. I think maybe Nsiala maybe tips it or Fernandes maybe, but I don't know. But Fernandes went on and played right hand side at central defence when he came on. Don't know whether he plays left or no, or he might be a wee bit more uncomfortable with his familiar position, being a young boy is on the right hand side. You've got Suter there, you've got Balogun there, and you've got Proper there that can all play the positions as well as the three of them can play in the left. But I think Nsiala as well, being left footed, I think he gets it just because he's in the team and playing at the moment and a wee bit more settled, Ox. So the squad's as strong as it can be, I think, at the moment.
Aye. It's interesting, and we'll see where it takes us. Obviously, we never got all our targets in.
Well, he changed the goalkeeper up. He changed it, but one of our goalkeepers have changed. Wisniewski's he's the third goalkeeper.
Right, so that's Kelly, Wisniewski's and Big Butland then, huh?
Aye, that's the three goalkeepers, aye.
Okay. Just quickly before we move on, but a bit of debate last night, Wilbur, I know he'd mentioned it on Tuesday night as well. With Butland, what's your two gentlemen's take on it? AK.
I've had a wee bit of doubt about Butland for a wee while. Certainly for the wage that he's on, I'm expecting better performances out of him. Albert makes a lot of valid points. See with the you look back at the individual errors that's actually cost us points in the league. I mean, instead of like 13 points, you could be down to 5 or 6 points, and that is due to Butland's errors. So I think competition for places isn't a bad thing, but he needs to know that that standard performance and the individual errors that he's making is costing him. So his jersey, nobody should be secured their jersey. So long time future, I don't think so. I think that's an area of the park where we could be looking to improve and also reduce the wage bill long term.
Right, value for cash, I get that. Southside, what about you, mate?
I think overall, on their game, I think Jack Butland's a better goalkeeper. But as I agree with what Albert said during the week, I mean, he's been culpable for quite a lot of goals, and I think he forgot the one in the cup final against him last year when he fumbled it out. But all the other ones he spoke about. So
he never forgot about, mate. He just doesn't like talking about it.
Aye, probably. Aye, well, you always remember the howlers of the goalkeeper, don't you? Listen, he's produced a few, but he was in good form at one point. He had a few saves down in Manchester, as well as he had a John Lukic special, which he shouldn't have done. When I look at it, Kelly actually came in, and apart from maybe the Hibs goal for the header, which the boy belted in, Kelly wasn't really at fault for anything else when he came in. His distribution was good. He could ping the ball out. He done really well. So usually when the goalie's making the amount of errors as what Jack's been making, you'd think eventually you might be thinking, I should be getting a chance here. Let's not be kidded. He's made a good few errors, but I think on form, Butland is a better goalkeeper.
I wouldn't be disappointed if Kelly started on Saturday.
Would you be calling it Kelly's heroes?
But no, listen, if Southside's right, I wouldn't be against Butland maybe going to Birmingham next year, because they've took some good players in the wage bill. So see if they want Butland or not.
We've been trying to send you to Coventry for a bit of year now.
I will Lady Godiva.
Oh dear, aye. They take everybody, didn't they? I'd be interested. I would start Kelly on Sunday. I agree with you, so I agree with you. So some good news in there with people coming back for injury. Ridvan, and obviously Leon King and Sterling as the too far away nearer, Big Balogun. So it gives us their bodies in certain positions. So we'll go with that as a positive, and obviously we've no game this week, so everybody should be further down the road outside when we get started back in the league.
Aye, but obviously Danilo and Cortez, he says, and all, didn't he, be taking part?
Aye.
So, it's good to get them all back, and there's a few big games coming down the road. And hopefully we'll have a fully fit squad to choose for, and some of them will have enough game time in their legs in certain games, and if we can make games easy for ourselves going forward, we can make these subs and get game time into Sterling's and Danilo's or Cortez's and that, and maybe get Fernandez on the park, because obviously he's on loan with an option to buy, so we'll have to have a look at him. The season's not got long to go and the games come thick and fast, Ox.
Aye. So the three players we added to the European squad, Hadji, Danilo, and then Salah. So I think we all agreed it made sense. There's not a lot of others there. Obviously Fernandes maybe, but then Salah's further down the road. AK, yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And good luck to him.
Aye. Okay, right. So we all agree that Kelly will start on Sunday. We all 100%. That's unusual, isn't it?
I think he will. Listen, they don't pose a big threat. We've seen their B team played more or less their first team in the cup tie when Enciala gets sent off. When we went to the game AK and Oldburn, that is more or less their first team. So, whoever's in goal should have a quiet day.
Aye, okay. Right, come and join us, give your thoughts. And I'm going to pose the same question to you two gentlemen that I posed last night. And I know you hate it, memory lane, Southside, but just...
Hey, I'll just go for a break anyway. Okay, you do your best, son.
I've no trivia for you tonight. I should have got some. I know how much you like it. Yeah. I'm just going to ask you for your favourite Scottish Cup memories. As simple as that, mate. Not too difficult, is it? I'm not going to expect you to name the team or the crowd, but the weather was like. Just your favourite memory. Yeah.
I would say one, obviously. I remember we talked about it, didn't we, last week? For some reason, I mentioned it to you. The cup final, the replay, and the second replay.
1979.
Aye, Hibs.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't exactly memorable apart from having to make 3 visits to Hampden. I remember that. But if you're talking about cup finals springing to mind, it's got to be first thing that springs to mind is like the Lovencrans Cup final and the Brian Laudrup one, to be perfectly honest. They two spring to mind straight away. I think we had one against Aberdeen, didn't we, back in the 90s?
93, the treble.
Was it 90? Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
If you ever get 2 hours during your work, because I know you're not that busy, okay, watch that game, Aberdeen 93 Cup final. You'll be surprised, and then you'll wonder what's happened to Scottish football, because it was all Scottish players that were on the park, bar a couple, mate. It's unbelievable.
That right, aye. Right.
You watch the pace of the game, the ability of the players, the actual game itself. You take away the opposition, how well they played, how good a team we had. You think, what have we done to Scottish football? Anybody out there, take a look and just to get their own thoughts on it. AK, what about yourself? Memories of you back with Kai Johansson, maybe?
I was actually talking to my dad today about that. He was, he says he was at the game, but he can remember it anyway. And a lot of what Denver said, he says Denver's call was brilliant last night. Denver's listening, well done. Did it have to be finals or is it just games?
No, whatever, mate.
Right. Semi-final then when Warburton, the manager, 2 each at Hampden with the Rasper for Barry Mackay.
Aye.
That was a great game. Obviously the Lovencrans, Barry Ferguson, I totally agree with what he said. I thought Barry was unbelievable that day. He ran the show in the midfield. Minded one, Rod Wallace, 1-0. It was 99 to complete a treble for Advocat.
Yep. Look, the 3 you mentioned, there's 2 of them. I've got memories for me. I got collared with Glasgow's finest. Cost me a few quid for different things. One of them I was with Mr. Fox. Let's just say we were driving, we shouldn't be driving. Go that way. That cost me money. Anyway, enough about that. Enough said about that.
That sounds a little better. Southside.
I think they want to have a race there too. We're trying to get a track. I'm trying to see if I can get them a track down here.
Obviously, in recent times when beating Hearts 2-0, Ryan Jack smashing it enough the underneath the crossbar, the second goal, wasn't it?
see, in the circumstances, mate, you know, you have goals in games that are never really fondly remembered by the way you should be. Halliday's goal against Hibs that day would have held out and won the cup, would have been looked at fondly. And if we'd have won the penalties in Seville, Ryan Jack's screamer against Hearts and my mate and your mate Scott Wright's goal that day would have been fondly remembered. But because everybody's chin was still on the deck, we don't look at them fondly, AK.
Aye, for good reason. Aye, it's good memories, but no so good memories when you see what we could have won. So it's a wee bit like bullseye. Take it back. But another one as well, mind the semi-final. Scotty Arfield coming on extra time, I think we beat them.
I don't think you should be mentioning semis tonight. Southside.
Nah, but keep that quiet, that one.
I think that was a bit hot shaky, I'll be honest.
Sorry.
Heard you talk about that one last night, listening to the show when I come home. You mentioned the game against Motherwell, remember? We were 2-0 done.
Aye.
Did we not play Forfar in the semi-final?
That was in the 76 season, mate. Or it was the League Cup, mate. I need to check that out. We were 1-0 done with 7 minutes to go.
Oh, was that a League Cup game, was it?
I think it may have been a League Cup final, but just for you, I will check it out, mate, yeah.
Beat Falkirk 1-0. See the game we beat Falkirk?
Here's one for you, Southside. Here's one for you. I think Rangers had the red strip on that night, no, just the plain red.
Uh-huh.
Aye. I'll check it out just for you, mate.
Was it no Falkirk we beat 1-0? Was that no that hot roasting day?
Yeah, that was a natural. Was that Natural's goal? Or was that Queen of the South?
That's right.
Next up.
Okay, Queen of the South. We played them in the final, didn't we?
Aye.
Was that a year before?
I think that was a Falkirk game because Boyd came off saying it's too hot out there and subbed him at half time and we natural come on 2 minutes later 1-0.
Aye. Queen of the South.
Was that the year after or the year before the Falkirk game?
Was Queen of the South after Manchester? Was that the week after Manchester? Oh, I got mixed up. These are sprung things on me. A long day. I've had a long day. I'll check the fourth one out. I'll come back to you. Right, come and give us your thoughts. 0141 356 1972. I'll put you on the spot, Southside. Loads of memories. Your favourite.
Favourite? Well, obviously Livingston's Cup final just springs out to mind, to be honest, and the way we come back in that game, and Barry Ferguson just epitomised everything that you should do in a Rangers jersey that day for the team and himself and the support and everything we get as a cup. And McCann was good that day, and Livingston's was on a run at that time and finished it, and we won the cup. And the best time to do it's right at the end of the game, I suppose. That one definitely sticks out. The Advocate Cup final, wasn't it?
It was. Forfar was the League Cup, mate.
Was it?
We come back and won 5-2 after extra time.
I wasn't at that one anyway, I'll tell you that. I thought it was a game. I thought Forfar. I remember Motherwell one at Hampden. Remember that? Was it that? But I thought it was like another lower league team running, but then we struggled in one of the games and we had to come back for later on. But I remember Motherwell. Maybe it was just a Motherwell game. Well, I wasn't sure.
I'll post it for you to see. But anyway, interesting. AK on the spot, in the chair. Your favourite?
My favourite memory?
Remember, you had to be there.
I've never been to a cup final. Southside keeps taking my ticket.
Oh, that was a fishing exhibition in Southside. That was easy, wasn't
it? I'd heard that one before. I was just wondering.
Oh, sorry about that, AK. That will have your favourite memory, mate.
Favourite memory, probably the Loudrup Cup final. And Jury scores a hat-trick, but Loudrup was just incredible that day. Absolutely brilliant. Was it the Hearts keeper? Was it Gilles Rousset? What one through his legs, didn't he? Right in near post.
Nothing closer that day. The sun was shining. Could hardly see a thing outside.
Aye, another glorious day.
Need sombreros on or something for some reason. Don't ask me why.
All right, aye. I know it was Laudrup was different class, wasn't he? Just destroyed them. Got Jury get easiest hat trick.
Just quickly answer your question. We beat Hearts 3-1 in the 1976 Scottish Cup final, mate. Yeah, that was the one that Derek Johnson scored just before 3 o'clock, mate. Derek Johnson scored 2, and Alan McDonald got the second, yeah. And Bobby McKean brought a skill for the third, yeah.
Aye, thanks for that. I was talking to my dad today, 76 Cup final. He was wondering who it was, and I actually mentioned that. He says, "Oh, I'm not sure." But he mentioned the 78 Cup final as well, and that was to complete another treble. But aye, good memories for all Bears that was following the team round about then.
Yes. Different times then, Southside, different times. I posted that in the chat, mate. I was right, was the red strip?
Aye, it's even when we're playing Queen's Park this week. I know we played them when they put us down the leagues and stuff, but you know, they've got a big history, do you know what I mean? Queen's Park, they actually played down in the FA Cup final because they were invited.
I've never forgave Villa for that semi-final, mate. 1874, the weekend with the name on the FA Cup, mate.
Aye.
Fox tells me it was quite a good game.
I think he was at the cup final against Blackburn Rovers. You know, I think he went down with Queen's Park. I think he quite fancied the trip down. But they played in the FA Cup final 2 seasons running, Queen's Park, before the Scottish League get formed and they get banned for playing down there. But looking forward to it. I think they'll bring quite a good crowd with them on Sunday. And it's just about us turning up in it, mate, and just doing the job properly.
Listen, the guy's been in good form this now. Has been Cyril Dessers, and there's been that many calls to his agent. His agent's had to get a new phone, so it would be all right we maybe hear about Cyril from Cyril, because God, we've talked about it enough on here, AK.
He certainly get thick skin, the big man. But good on him. This is the performances that we want to see off him.
Right, so if you don't mind, gentlemen, get yourself a mute, and we'll hear from the one and only, yes, the one and only, Cyril Dessers.
Cyril, how much is everyone looking forward to the Scottish Cup?
Yeah, obviously for us it's a very important game. It's only a few games away from a trophy, so at a club like Rangers, that's always important.
I know you guys will want to win every game. Is there a feeling it takes on an extra importance when parts of the league season haven't gone so well and there's an obvious opportunity for domestic success? Yeah, like you say, I think we're even more aware that this is a big opportunity and very important for us, and that we need to go full and seize the chance here. It must be nice going into games personally just now with the level of confidence you have based on previous weeks. True. I'm feeling well at this moment. So for me personally, it's a good feeling. But I think in the last games, I think the whole team shared this feeling as well. I think if I'm going on this week, there were a lot of positive vibes in this building.
So do you feel that the team is starting to peak at the right time? That you're coming into the second half of the season, European football's going to be coming back soon. You've got this cup as well. The team on good form at the moment.
Let's hope. Obviously we're hoping that. I think last season in a similar period, I think we had a run of 10 games in a row with a win. It would be unbelievable if we could go back to that form in the same stage of the season, and then you never know what happens. So I think we just have to look at it game by game, but obviously there is the hunger and the hope to do a similar run.
The transfer window's closed now. You know the boys will be in the change room here until the end of the season. What do you feel can be achieved over the next 4 or 5 months?
We're still competing in 3 competitions, and I think the confidence that we get from the European games is huge with achieving or getting to the top 8. So I think something special there is possible for the league. We just need to keep going. You never know what happens, and just keep looking at it game by game, and then you never know. But and then what I said before, like for the cup, it's just a big opportunity to go to a trophy in a couple of games, and the hunger is here to do something special there as well.
So it was just at the end of the transfer window, your representative was apparently quoted saying there were as many as 10 clubs wanted to sign you in January. What can you tell us what happened during the window with you?
If we look at the full picture, because it's not only like at the end or about what my agent said, obviously. Beginning of the month, I was not playing a lot. 0 minutes, 1 minute. As a striker, that at that point was on double numbers already. Then obviously there's going to be interest. Teams that call my agent and ask like, hey, he's not playing. Is there something possible? But I've been in touch. I spoke I think 2 or 3 times with Niels. We had very good conversations about the situation, and I'm here now 3 weeks later, and I'm very happy to be here. I didn't want to leave or anything, but I want to play. The last few weeks, I've been getting into a better form again. The team as well. Then everything as well. And then obviously the situation changed regarding to the beginning of January. So then for me there are no big question marks, and I think it's normal. If a striker scores, that there will be interest, especially if you look at the situation I was in the beginning of January. But by the end of January, that changed already. So I think that makes the question less relevant.
You said you spoke to Niels. Did you have to speak to the manager as well about the situation?
No.
And now that you are here for this, the remainder of this season at least, in terms of your partnership, whenever you play with Hamza, how much would you want that to continue?
I hope that's something that continues. The last 3 games we've been playing together, I have a very good feeling about this. As you know, the Scottish league is a very, very tough league for a striker. You get a lot of kicks, knocks, punches, all of these things. A lot of times I'm fighting against 3 centre backs, and with Hamza next to me or me next to Hamza, I think that causes some distraction there, and we can use each other, create space for each other, make them hesitate a little bit more, and then take the profit out of that. So I think for me it was nice to play with him. Obviously Hamza is a very good player, and I hope this partnership can grow. I think this was a nice start, but I think there's still a lot of growth left in this partnership in our connection, because those were also the first few games that we played together, because normally we get subbed on or off for each other. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can develop that together.
Cyril, in terms of your own confidence, is this as good as you felt since you came to the club? You see how quickly things have changed from the beginning of January to where we are just now? I think like I said, the second half of last season, I think were very good for me, and I felt very good, very confident. So it's not the first time that I feel like this. Also, I think in August when I scored a lot of goals and important goals for the team, I had the same feeling. So as a striker, it cannot only go always up, only highs. It will go in waves, and this is another wave. And I have to keep working hard to keep this wave going at least till the end of the season. So that's my job.
So last season, when you reached the last 16 in Europe, there was a kind of notion around the time that it was a distraction the team could have done without, because you were focusing on the title. Does this year, does it feel like Europe's something that you have to give full attention to, because there is the potential there for something special. As you said, you've experienced yourself with Feyenoord. The team here got to the final a couple of years ago.
I think at a club like Rangers, you cannot pick games or just decide like, oh, we're gonna turn up today and win this game. Not in Europe, not in the league. So I think we don't have that intention. We just go to every game and with the feeling that we're gonna win and we want to win and we do everything for that. So I don't think that makes a big difference for us. We just want to keep going in the Europa League, but also in the league and also in the cup.
Last couple, please. You obviously had that experience in the League Cup last year, winning that. What were those celebrations? What did they mean to you, and how much would you like to get back to those kind of scenes at Hampden lifting a trophy?
Yeah, obviously it was an unbelievable feeling in the first after a tough first few months to in December win the League Cup and just to get that feeling to everywhere you go here as well you see all our trophies with the numbers just to be just a small part, but just to be a small part of the history of a club like Rangers, and that means a lot to us as a team, but also for me as a person, also for my family. So I would love to have that feeling again.
Last one.
You said, sorry, Cyril, just last one, I don't mind. You said something special is possible in Europe. Does that come from the confidence of performances against Spurs and Manchester United and making it straight into the last 16?
Yes, exactly like you said. Against some very good teams, we showed that we can compete with them. And I think maybe that the football in the Europa League at this point or sometimes fits us a little bit better even. But also we showed it last season as well, that we can compete with teams like Benfica. Also, if you see, we made it to the top 8, but like I think a lot of the teams that we played against are in the top 8 as well. So I think that just shows that I think we had the most difficult program of everybody in the Europa League, and we got into the top 8. I think that's a massive achievement, and all credits to the group. So that gives us confidence, and we know from here on the knockout phase, there's no easy games anymore. That's also what I seen when I played when we went to the final with Feyenoord. But you also know that the more you progress, the more it becomes 50-50 in these games. Even if you play against very, very big clubs, everything is possible in a quarterfinal or in a semi-final.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
He comes across very well, doesn't he, Southside? He comes across very well.
Aye, he speaks very well. Sometimes when he's been put in front of the press before him and he's been having a hard time in that, and he dealt with that, and I think he always talks positively when you listen to him. It's just something not to like about him. He's a likeable guy to a point. He's always got a wee smile now and again, and he said good things, and he said it means a lot to him and his family and the club and everything, and talking about when they see trophies and stuff and want to be part of adding to it and that. I always think he speaks well, Ox, to be honest.
Aye. Listen, AK, I've said it on here a lot. I don't think he's the biggest enigma I've ever known.
I know, but you can see why. The Fraser bro miss, and then the following week he's scoring an absolute screamer down at Old Trafford, and the same up at Tannadice. So you can see why we're all of that opinion. But the way he talks, he's a seasoned pro. He says all the right things, and he's relatable in that way. But I like hearing what he's saying there about it means a lot for the club, and he wants to play his part in adding to the numbers about the history of the club, because that's the way it should be. But they need to start producing it though, and the only way you can do that is obviously winning trophies. So
I talks cheap. Talks cheap.
Yeah, definitely.
Talks cheap. Aye, I get it. Aye, so we're slowly getting to the tune, but it'd be good if people join us, as we said, 0141356 1972. Welcome to anything Rangers related. Aye, so we all agree, us three, that Kelly will start tomorrow. Then it gets interesting. Who you play? Back four. Back four, we'll go with AK.
I knew you were coming to me.
It was a 50-50. It was
Right, my back four, Tavernier. Don't think we've got a replacement right back there. But Tav's playing well anyway, so the captain gets the start. For me, Inciala, I would start, and I would, alongside him, I would give Suter another 45 minutes to an hour, and Ridvan I would replace for the FD.
All right. Wonder if it would be a bit soon for Ridvan. Aye. Well, since I went to AK first, and there's only 3 here, I'll need to go to Southside next. Or get his back four as well.
Tav will start, I think. I would probably start Suter and all, if I'm honest. Whatever. If we're up 2 or 3, whatever, by half time, maybe even just take him off if you really want to, and whoever's you put on the bench, if there's a centre back there, then you can maybe play him. But I'd start Suter. I'd probably play Inciala beside him, just give proper another wee rest while we come on. And I would be playing Yefty at left back.
Midfield, mate?
I think I would like him to. I've took a chance and took Raskin out, or I played Bailey Rice, or I played Diamonde, but I think he'll play the 2. I think he'll still stick with the 2. I think he'll stick with Raskin and Diamonde to start Ots. But I believe you could play Bailey Rice in there in that game, start him. But you could start him with Raskin, I suppose, and leave Diamonde. But I've got a feeling he'll start Diamonde and Raskin. I think he'll just want to keep it strong in there just to get us going. I think Ots, to be honest.
What were your good self, so AK?
I'd like to see Rice starting. To be honest with you, where it's Raskin that's strapping out or Diamonde. Do we know if Barron's is he still injured?
I don't know if we'll see Conor Barron this season, mate. If that was the ligaments get opened up, mate. I think I might be talking 3 months outside there.
It could be well into the end of March time anyway.
I might be right, but I've not the details, mate. But the way that happened and his knee got opened up, it looks like ligaments to me, mate. You know, I know you don't get the injuries at the balls, mate, but it's a sorry.
You would be surprised.
Well, I know you get injuries at the balls, mate. I've witnessed it.
Wrong stupors. But would you not like to see Rice start in there, guys?
I would next to Raskin, mate. I would next to Raskin. I would. I thought he's done well, and that's just the way he's passed the ball quick, and that I like what I see. But I get Southside's point that he might want to win the game and then give him half 45 minutes, move him further down the development. But I wouldn't be versed it. It would be yourself, Southside.
No, listen, Bailey Rice could start in there on Sunday for me, no problem. It'll be down to the manager. And you could probably play Finlay Curtis and all against him in Sunday and play Inciala, Finlay Curtis and Bailey Rice. To be honest, you should be able to start the 3 of them. But I don't think he will. So I just thought he might keep it strong, keep asking maybe 45 minutes to an hour, take him off, and then maybe bring Bailey Rice on for Raskin, put him in his position, in the centre mid, number 6 role that Raskin will play, and it's like for like. But it'll be interesting to see what he does. But I think he'll probably start with the 2 of them, Diamande and Raskin. But he doesn't have to be honest, in my opinion.
What's pleasing is we're all talking about Bailey Rice being a potential starter and get a wee bit of competition for places, and hopefully starts nailing his place in merit. AK, know that we just want to see him develop. Merit and development are 2 different things, mate.
Aye, would. He's a serious player now. He is part of first team plans, and you heard that with your own ears come on saying that. I heard Barry Ferguson the other night waxing lyrical about him as well, and he sees a load of potential in him. So this is the game. This is the sort of game where we can risk game time. Because he played against Fraserburgh the last round of the Cup, so the manager trusts him in there. Get a start. I would throw him a starting jersey and see how he does.
I'd be interested to see. So we've got the three in front of that. Right. What are you thinking? AK.
I'm going to throw Lawrence in there to be the number 10, and I would give Curtis a start and probably put McCausland out in the right.
All right, okay. McCausland, Lawrence and Curtis. Right, okay. Southside.
The only problem I've got with Lawrence is he's not going to be here long term, and players that have committed to the club should probably get a game. I know you've got to give him the odd game maybe if you're going to utilise him, because he's in the European squad, and come on, will have to think like that. I can see your thinking with Lawrence. I would like Curtis to go left, but I think it'll be Hadji. I think Hadji will start. I think the number 10 probably Bezrami and Czerny. I think he'll give Czerny another 45 minutes or something. I think he'll keep it strongish. I think he's got to go 2 weeks. We'd like to see a couple of young boys in, but I don't think he will. And that's the three I think he'll go back across the front three ups.
All right. Totally different. And who you putting up top, Southside?
I think he'll start Dessers.
All right. I'd like to see Egerman back there in the number 9 role. I don't think he's the last 2 games I think he's been more times looked as if he's been going to trip over his lip, if I'm honest, AK.
I see what you mean. I wouldn't be adverse to changing that either. But what would be your 3 behind it then, Ox? If you were playing Egerman.
I think I might like to go with the Egerman Dessers thing again, yeah. And I would go with Czerny, and if Bailey Rice starts, I would go with Hadji. If Bailey Rice doesn't start, I would go with Curtis. There you go.
Interesting. A bit of a mix with youth with experience then.
Aye. I want to see the 2 boys. I want to see how they develop. I don't want too much pressure on them, but I'm interested to see how they do. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. Not saying they've had that much minutes outside, but
No, but you'll get the best out of them in their best position. So Bailey Rice getting into the team. If he starts beside Raskin, it's really the Raskin's position where he should be. That's where he goes in the B team. But I understand he'll be slightly left of Raskin, and he'll go and try and influence the play, get a bit further up the park, which he'll be good at as well. But he is central midfielder, and Finlay Curtis is certainly goes out wide but comes inside quite a bit as well. He's keen to cut inside and that, and he's quite a wee bit of pace about him. So if the 2 of them are getting a chance, I'd like to hope it in their natural positions, and then they'll probably feel more comfortable in there. But listen, Queen's Park are all right. It's no a game that we should be too worried about. Our fitness will go at the tap, and they're full time now. So it's just about how we start. If we get a couple of early goals, then it'll be a matter of how many. That's the understanding, and that's what will happen. It'll be for as long as it takes us to score, mate.
All right. Listen, you 2 gentlemen, if you don't mind, get yourself on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I fought the IRA, and they say the time must pay, but let's say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. Well, I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. I fought those evil men, and I do it all again. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. The Antrim lands, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Back by popular demand, Southside.
Aye, back by popular demand. All the troops in the YouTube thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Aye, a wee ditty, a wee ditty. Yes, it reminds me of Billy, Broxy Teddy, and his organ. What a man, what a man. One of his favourites. But that's another story. We digress. Right, AK, we're getting ready for it. What do you think that is?
This is the time for the bookie bashing.
Yes. Right. Hold on to your hat and let's hear Southside's Super 6.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for February the 8th. This weekend we're doing over 2.5 goals. So the first game with over 2.5 goals is Swindon versus Port Vale. Second game's Coventry and Ipswich. Third game's Wigan and Fulham. The fourth game's Crewe and Newport. Fifth game's Norwich and Derby. and the sixth game is Burton and Blackpool. If you take all 6, pays 27.5 to 1.
Okay, 27.5 to 1. If you put £10 on that AK, how much will you get back?
Usually 0.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. Just to keep the arithmetic up. Southside, who did you record that with?
Fox.
That's having 2 Super Sixes in one day. Sorry, Fox. Southside. Southside.
Aye, all right. How do you follow that one? Got up at 6 in the morning. What was I going to say? Aye, okay. Listen, 2.5 goals, so it's a cup in it. So we're looking for a few goals. I've actually just discovered there's a game at 12:30.
Oh, is there?
There's one. Aye, I didn't mean to have that in there.
That affects the cash shoots big time, doesn't it? You don't get a run for your money. It's bad organised, bad planning, AK, innit?
Oh, jeez. It could be done before the other 5 start.
I'll tell you what today. Just why don't if you'd wanted to miss the one at 12:30, just do the other 5 and pick one yourself. There you go. Give you a free choice. Everybody listening to it. Pick 5 at kick off at 3 o'clock. Miss out the first one I read out. That's at 12:30. Pick the other 5. Aye, pick the other 5 and then pick one yourself.
In the old days, the early kick-off was fine. You were either beat or that was it, and you're still running. But with a cash shoot, you'd have a draw in one of them and still looking for
it's no cash shoots this week, mate.
All right, is it all in?
It's all in, mate, but aye, it's all in. Maybe it's 12:12 kick-off.
One money with your selections is cashing.
Sometimes your freeze one of the scores always helps sometimes.
Anyway, yeah. 2 Super Sixes to one day. Sorry about that, AK.
Aye, that wasn't bad for you, that one. It's a hard life, isn't it?
Yes, aye, all right. So we've got our team. It's surprising how varied it is. And I think we'll see the boy Fernandez at some time tomorrow and all, if I'm honest, Southside. Yeah. Didn't see enough of him how he could play, but what I will say is we're up against Jordan White physically, and he looked rapid to me for a centre-back, rapid.
Aye, he's not been really stretched much in the B games that I'd seen him. To see a lot of pace off him and stuff, but you can see he's got a ton of pace. And I thought he looked a wee bit more assured, a wee bit more comfortable watching him in the last game he played for what he had been in. His passing was really good in that. Granted, wasn't really tested, but done enough in the game. So I think it's a good learning curve for him, and he's getting the right type of games in Queen's Park, who he's played before and also had a brief game against him.
No, I'm talking Fernandez, mate.
Oh, Fernandez, sorry. Well, Fernandez coming in, I would give him a chance to get some game time. And like I say, if he starts Suter, if we believe he'll start Suter, then probably the guy to come in and swap with him would be Fernandez and give him maybe 45 or the last half hour.
Okay.
Aye, it's about integrating them into the squad, isn't it? So, if we're starting Suter and we're winning comfortably, I don't have a problem again in the second half. He's got to get used to his teammates. But the more game time he gets with this option to buy, we need to see him in action. You know, it's all right seeing him in training, but it's actual game time that he's looking to impress in. Not just the manager, his teammates and the support to see what we're getting. If we don't like what we're seeing, then obviously that's a deal we can look at elsewhere. But he talks highly of him, and aye, it's all about competition for places and trying to improve the squad The age of the boy's good. He's got attributes there. You've seen the height, the building, the speedium. So he's got attributes to be an asset for the team. But we need to see him in action.
Aye. And what are you making in the opposition tomorrow, AK?
Well, I've done a wee bit of homework before coming on tonight, unlike me. But I'd a wee look to see...
likes us what, Southside?
I know. I'd a wee look to see where Queen's Park were in the championship. I heard they've been doing quite well, and obviously Southside Alberni, we've seen them in the B team game, and they were okay that night. But obviously the 10-man advantage. But they're sitting 5th in the championship, 7 points behind Partick Thistle. So they're well out of kind of danger area for getting relegated or that. They've got Zach Rudden up front, a boy that started with ourselves, but we released him 2020. He's our kind of top goal scorer with 6 goals, 3 assists. They've also got a young guy, Jack Turner. He's only 22. He came from Southampton. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist. Rangers have been unbeaten, as we know, at home. At Ibrox, the last 14 games we have been. Our last 5 against Queen's Park, we've beat them. And Queen's Park have lost their last 6 away games.
Well done, mate. Well done.
You still have that boy Don Thomas playing with him. He played against us, mind you, in the B game. I noticed. He sort of scored. He was sort of.
No, John Thomas.
He was sort of doing no bad from midfield. The boy, he's been there. I think he might be their captain. But no, listen, we're at home. It's at Ibrox, and we should be dominating the ball, make them run about, and it's just a matter about when we strike first and get the first goal, and then hopefully capitalise on it straight away, and that just kills the game. But like you say, we've got the 2 up front, Zach Rudden and the other boy. But listen, this shouldn't be an issue. We could make it an issue and talk them up a bit. And we've got to be cautious. But 90 minutes, we should be the dominant team, be the most energy, and have most of the ball. And it's just about making sure we score, and I'm sure we will.
Put the ball in the net, mate. Take the pressure off. Maybe able to get players off, get young guys minutes. Everything's possible. But to do that, AK, you've got to score goals.
Aye, 100%. I see the game similar to the Fraserburgh game, to be honest with you. It's one of the games we probably know we're going to win, but we still need to earn the right to win. And as you say, putting the ball in the net, Dessers could have made it so comfortable if he sticks that one away early doors against Fraserburgh. We're 1-0 up at half-time, if I remember right, and we came out and just strolled it once we started scoring the goal. So it's all about putting the ball in the pocket. And I don't know if anybody's watching it, but Ayr United are holding Hibs to a 0-0 now. So
Hibs, they just announced a 7.1 million loss. Did you see that, Southside?
Yeah.
I heard something about that today. Aye. Tragic, eh?
Oh well, maybe if they gave let supporters fill their stands, and maybe they could shave a lot off that money, yeah?
Certainly help.
Aye. Lack of common sense, AK. Lack of common sense.
Oh, aye. They're all at it, aren't they? I mean, St Mirren, I think, we're announcing losses as well. They're biting the hand that feeds them. We've said it for long enough.
Aye. Watch his space. Anyway, come and join us. How you think it'll go tomorrow? What you think is happening at the club with the players slowly coming back? Hopefully the right time of the season. It's been a couple of months now. Is it? No, a month for Stirling, isn't it? It was at Easter Road he got that kick. I was going to say it was December, but it was the start of January. So he's been out for a month. Redvan's been in and out. Suter's coming back for injury. Balogun, well, he's a warhorse, isn't he? I've not seen him since Old Trafford. We always cut him a bit of slack, bizarrely, Southside, didn't we? Balogun, I don't think anybody dislikes him, do they?
No, I think we understood for the first time he was here the amount of games he can play in succession. And I think we know that he's been out for quite a while in games, then he comes into the team and normally his first couple of games back, he's usually pretty sound, isn't he? And then he dips out again, and then he comes back in. He's reliable, mostly, isn't he? That's the thing about him. And he certainly went out and tried it Manchester United, and he had to come off at half time, but at least he went out and had a go at it, mate. That's the main thing.
Aye. I've always got Tav to go at centre back, AK.
Aye. Nah, but Balogun's, he's one of the guys that, yeah, I think he actually realises how fortunate he is to be at a club of your stature for the age that he is. It's probably the biggest club that he's ever played with in his entire career. You know, obviously still had affection for us when we released him. I think he went to QPR, if I remember right. But he came back actually as a supporter to cheer us in the stand. So that's how much the affection he had for the club. So he's delighted to be in the building, but a manager needs you available for selection, and that's where his body's kind of letting him down a bit as he's getting older, unfortunately.
I think the problem is, mate, the sands of time wait for no man, you know.
Yeah.
And he's done well.
Even
Good
flops.
career.
Even
Good
flops.
career. I try to extend it, you know, and you've got to be sensible, but there's a lot of demands and a lot of games now in modern football, Southside, you know. I mean, he might end his career with us, but bizarrely, I think the supporter will always have a bit of fondness for him.
Aye. I always have a bit of fondness for him. But he's been a good servant in the 2 times he's been here, hasn't he? And he'll probably have a bit to play maybe till the end of the season. I don't think he's going to get any longer than that, for honest. I think if you're looking at bringing in Fernandes and that, and then Ciala to progress, and you've got Proper and Suter, I think it'll be time that he'll go. I've just been corrected, by the way, if it's true. A boy on YouTube says Don Thomas get transferred in January for Hingme, so we'll not see him against us on Sunday. But he was a decent player for them, you know what I mean, at the time. So, but as in Balogun, he's been a good servant, mate. But I think he'll still possibly, you never know, have a part to play to the end of the season.
You never know. That you could have Proper back, Suter back, Sterling back. You could have in Salah. You could have Fernandes. We went for boom to bust, if that makes sense, AK.
Aye, it just shows you how quickly things can change in football. But as Southside mentioned there, that the fact he was still willing to go out there at Old Trafford, knowing full well that the gaffer was light in that area, knowing full well he wasn't 100% fit to put himself through the pain barrier, that sort of character is what we want in the players that we're signing. So he is an example in that sort of aspect. But as you say, time waits for no man. But he's been a decent acquisition.
And he's another one that comes across as a gentleman, AK, bit like myself.
Aye. In my favour or not. I'm not sure about that Southside boy though.
Southside's all right.
Balogun said I was perfect that day. There was not a problem. We had a lovely conversation. But Balogun's done well. And listen, it'll be fitting if he's no used. And like you say, with the amount of players we've got, and if they all come back fit, like I think Sterling would get some shots at right back and not so much at centre back, because we've got Ciala and you've got Fernandes and hopefully Suter and Proper. But I think Balogun towards the end of the season, if he's no use, should come on the park anyway. If it's to say his farewells and that, I think it'd only be fitting that we done that.
Mm-hmm. What was you thinking with Lawrence tomorrow, AK?
Pretty much what Southside touched on, see, because he's part of the European squad. Just this is a sort of game where you want the kind of players on the periphery, the first team squad, to gear them game time, to make them party, things to go on, because you're not going to be able to field the same sort of team basically every game. I know in an ideal scenario that's what we're looking at, to field a full strength team, and I can see people's reasonings why, but I think in essence, with the amount of games and that we're having to play, it's practically impossible. So it was just really to give him game time. But listen, if Hadji's the form guy, then Raskin the form guy, you know, we've got good options there now that he didn't have earlier in the season. So that's obviously a reason why our form, our results and everything was pretty poor at the start of the season, I think. But now it's starting to, we're building a wee bit of momentum now, and it's good to include everybody in that squad.
When you look at it now, the guy we missed playing at the start of the season was obviously Raskin, you know, and we never, when he was injured, we never realised how we would come back into the team, and that was a shocking tackle. I've said that a few times, Southside. That was a shocking tackle on him against Ajax in a friendly, wasn't it?
Aye, it was a poor one. It was really poor. But he's come back and he's shown really, really good form. I mean, when you look at the squad, like you're talking about for Europe, the only, as you're saying, like Tom Lawrence is in there. Where do you think if we took him out the squad and you'd put Fernandez in? But if you put Fernandez in, you're putting him into a bloated sort of loads of defenders in there. So Clinton's in there, probably as backup, and so would have been Fernandez. Would probably been pretty heavy in the defenders when you look at the amount when you add in Ridvan and you add in Tavernier and all that, and Sterling. So probably the fact that he's kept Lawrence in the squad ox is probably just for the forward areas in case there's any suspensions or injuries. And as you say, since he's come back from injury, Nico Raskin's been outstanding and a major part of why we've been doing so well as well for the midfield. There's no that big hole that we used to talk about all the time anymore, is there really?
No, it helps when the run he covers. And if we're honest, Diamondi looks as if he's, I'm not saying he's been outstanding, but I'm saying he's maturing Southside.
Aye, he's had a lot of good games. He showed a lot of energy. He did a lot of running off the ball, and sometimes he didn't get it, but he made the run to make the space for other players. A couple of times he gets caught, then he maybe turns around wide and stuff, but he's added a goal at Tannadice. He's been in for a fair bit of treatment. He seems to get kicked about a bit in Europe and all, as well as the league lately. But I'm hoping that he'll start to show more better performances in the league consistently, because I think he's been pretty good in Europe. I'm hoping for him to kick on as well and contribute to the team. And it's about him and Raskin seem to be forming a partnership together now that they've been playing together so long.
Aye. Talking about Diamondi, did you see the VAR thing that broke the day?
Yes, I did. I was.
See, did you hear?
Yes, shocked. Wow. I couldn't believe Nick Walsh. What the discussions was. I don't know if listeners or that's heard about it, but wow. He was basically dismissing whatever the VAR team were saying to him because he couldn't get a conclusive angle where to prove him wrong that Diamondi's, what would you say, supposed slap to the face didn't connect. Well, they said it, didn't he? But he didn't believe him. They stuck with his decision. Wow.
And know what else got me about that is the other guy was the aggressor. I was still baffled with the whole thing. I'm still baffled with the whole thing.
He's on a yellow card at that time, I know, Alex, wasn't he?
I don't know if you heard it, Southside. You know, you don't see it. It gives you the commentary, and they're tell him it's never a red card. He's still no. Yeah.
I did see it. I caught a bit tonight. It was actually the VAR thing today on. They were talking about it with Colin. And they gave him every opportunity. But he comes back with a see him strike him on the face, I think was the word similar to that he used. And I'm sending him off. And they give him every opportunity to certainly say that. I mean, you hear them, I think they use the words, it's no brutal, it wasn't aggressive and all that, it's negligible. But he still came to that conclusion, and it's a bad decision for him, mate. Really bad decision. Plus, Holt should have got booked, because according to Colin, the two of them, if you were booking Diamondi, which he should have got possibly, and you book the other player, but he actually says I'm booking number 5 when Holt was 4 and he was the aggressor. You see him push and then you see him, I don't know why he never brought it up. He flings his shoulder into Raskin. You clearly see it through the pictures.
I don't even think Diamandi was due a yellow card, if I'm honest.
Well, Collins said that you could probably give him a yellow, and if you were, you'd have probably booked the 2 of them.
I mean, the whole incident doesn't happen if the boy doesn't push Diamandi.
Mm-hmm.
It was only when he's fallen back that his horn came up.
Yep. It's all about the interpretation and the words and all that, as he says. But he said he would probably have cautioned the 2 of them. But then he doesn't get asked why didn't he caution Holt then.
It was a shocking decision, AK, wasn't it? Shocking.
Absolutely. And they don't cover themselves in glory with their explanation either. Because according to Willie Collum, he thinks that Nick Walsh was actually entitled to give him the red. And I can't get that. There's one guy being the aggressor and he's not even getting looked at for a second yellow card. Diamondi's done nothing wrong at all. He's no made an attempt to slap him across the face the way they're portraying it to be. But they think that to defend Nick Walsh, he's entitled to get a red card for that. And also to dismiss what the VAR team are seeing them. The fact he only had 2 angles as well doesn't help the referee. Why, when you look, obviously it's maybe down to finance or that, if they've got more cameras in the stadium. I mean, we've seen the Motherwell offside line where you're basically the corner of the screen and all that. It's a cheap option, and it doesn't paint the officials in any good light at all for me. And certainly no Willie Collins' explanation either.
No, it's interpretation, explanation, whatever you want to call it. But Mr. Walsh, hold your head in shame. As I said before, you're either incompetent or you're cheating. It's as simple as that. That decision is so bad. Southside, did you see the other one? The tackle on Ridvan?
Aye.
I didn't get that neither, mate.
Explanation came that it wasn't the full studs and it was sort of on the side and it wasn't excessive force.
All right.
That was the reason why he didn't get a red card, apparently.
All right. I'm puzzled, AK. I'm puzzled.
It's above the ankle, isn't it?
That sounds reasonable to me. You only hit him with 5 studs instead of 6. Baffling, mate. Baffling.
So if you use that, if you throw a right hook and somebody moves their chin out of the way, it's all right, Southside. You're not getting sent off.
Well, I laughed because they showed you the St Mirren one that we talked about the other night, how they want the SFA VAR officials out the VAR altogether, and they showed that incident, and Collins said it was a penalty. And they reviewed it with VAR, and he said VAR should have gave the penalty. No, so that's the one that they were kicking up about. And that's the one that they're going to go to the SFA with and see if they can seek change in the VAR rooms.
I think they should maybe not make them wee boxes with curtains on them, then they may get better decisions.
That would help.
That's just me. But anyway, right, we move on. Scottish Cup tie at home against Queen's Park. People would say it's a good draw, Southside, because obviously you just want a home tie. You want to progress through the competition, and then that's us in, hopefully into the quarterfinals, mate.
Aye. Well, you don't want to sort of go to any wee tricky grounds it was about. And if you can get a home tie, then you'll take it. And it just so happens that it's Queen's Park. So it's a game where you'd like to think you can rest a couple of your players if you choose to do so, and just make sure that you get the game won. And it's not badly priced stocks. I think it was £21 or £22 or something for the game. So it's not badly priced either, is it really?
No. Still, the weather's not great for people taking maybe younger kids to their first games. You know, obviously you can take them well wrapped up and all that, but it's just not quite the same when it's potentially bitter cold AK, isn't it?
Aye, well, that's to be expected. But aye, no, it's a good opportunity for young families to go along to Ibrox, take in Ibrox for their first games, and watch the famous play, because that's the games when you get hooked. You know, a lot of the league games are took up with season ticket holders, so this is an opportunity to take advantage of a ticket on sale and go along to Ibrox and take in the game.
Aye. All right, we're moving to the last bit of the show. Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, come and join us. Give your thoughts, give your predictions. You know, the transfer window. Obviously, there wasn't that much movement outside. You know, I think maybe players had moved on, things might have changed, but there wasn't any movement really anywhere, was there? You know, it's some of the financial regulations seem to be slowing up the whole windows down. You know, and all clubs at all levels are looking to get their wage bills done there.
Aye, and for the teams that were competing within the league, there's only one or two really. I noticed that spent a couple of quid, and even at that, Aberdeen shifted out Duke and things like that, and brought a couple of players in. But we've done what we wanted to do. I think the manager alluded that we would like to have done more, but hopefully the extra ones that we didn't get or people were looking at will definitely be available for us to go and get in the summer. And the one or two players that we might have hoped to have got out still round about the club at the moment, probably i.e. Tom Lawrence, haven't moved. So we've had to do business the way we got it. And I think if we tried to get Lyle Cameron in, I think with the training fee and that, the way they call it, development fee, it's going to start about £600,000, and it'll probably still be that come January when we get him. June, when he comes in. In time, it'll probably be about that anyway, I would think. But no, we are where we are, Ox. And if you look at the squad, if we can keep that squad fit, then I think we could say that we'll be quite happy with that. Might take the odd suspension or the odd injury, but you'd like to think if we can keep all the players that we've talked about and he's talking about coming back, and if they can get fit in the next month, ready to go for the rest of the season for what's left and the bigger games that's coming up. And we should be strong enough to see us to the end of the season, I would like to think.
AK.
Well, I've been listening to the show all week, and I've agreed a lot with what everybody's conclusions have been. I think it's been a window where we were looking to get high earners off the books. We've got two of them, with Dow and Matondo. Obviously, I think Lawrence might have been kind of question mark for that as well, but that didn't happen. Dessers didn't want to go. Seemingly there were offers there for him. Hadji, I don't know either, but we kept them. That was a good sign. Alex Lowry, Zach Lovelace. There's I think 5 of the B team boys is all out to seasoned clubs where they can get first team experience hopefully, and then come back better players. But for me, it looks as if we're no bringing in the sort of players. I mean, it's not the 1990s anymore. We can't bankroll things here, so we've got to look at things differently. But there's an opportunity there now for the likes of Finlay Curtis and Bailey Rice and that to step up, because you see the likes of Insiala excelling and Igamani excelling as well. So the youngsters are getting their opportunity. And Clement did say it would only be 1 or 2 players. So it's basically they've gave us what they told us they were going to do. So satisfactory for me.
You could have a situation when you get to next August. Obviously, Lawrence will be gone. Matondo, if that works out for him, say he scored a goal earlier Southside, so he could potentially be away. These are all big earners that we weren't getting bang for our buck for. I know having a go at them as individuals, but they weren't on the pitch enough.
No, and if they had been in contributing, then we might still be looking to sell them anyway because of the wage structure and the stuff. But if they'd been producing, you'll sometimes carry a couple of heavy hitters, wouldn't you, as long as they're producing on the park on a weekly basis. But no, we tried our best and we've managed to get Matondo away and Dell down to Birmingham. And hopefully, if Birmingham don't want them at the end of the season, to buy him, then maybe another club in the Championship will maybe see him if he's playing regular enough and contributing, and they might want him. So he will get showcased. Tom Lawrence has obviously decided to keep his options to the Higby unless there was no movement for him. So it is what it is. But we're looking forward to the young players we've got and the players that Clement's brought in. Apart from Cortez, they're all basically on the park and playing. And the other ones we can see, hopefully, now they're coming back for injury. Sterling, I'd like to hope, will be one that will stay fit and try to contribute, and let's see the best of him, Ox.
Aye, I hope so, mate. I think we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Good evening, Ox and Southside and my son, AK.
Oh, evening, Mr.
Evening,
AK.
Dad. Oh, how you doing?
I'd just like to talk about the Scottish Cup finals. Actually, it was, I tell you, the last time I was on, 1961 was my first game as 10-year-old. Well, I want to start with two finals. I wasn't at, but as a wee boy, my family were at them, my father and my brothers. The first one was the Celtic, one each on the Saturday, and then the Ralphie Brand, 3-1, we beat them. And then the Dundee Cup final, one each, and heading for a replay until Miller and Brand done it again for us. And they wore I don't know if you've ever seen photographs.
Yes, the stripes.
Aye, the stripe hangers and Jim Baxter with the cup lid on the top of his head. I think that may have possibly been his last game for us. I don't know if that was the 65 Cup or the 64 Cup.
I'll check that out for you, mate. I'll check that out. I'll be right with you. And these are famous games, mate. Famous games. With famous players playing in them, mate. Yeah?
Yeah. And then, obviously, Alec was saying I was at the Kai Johansson final on the Saturday. And I think in the days there used to be a stitch-up, nothing each, over 100,000 paying, and then the Wednesday another over 100,000 paying. I don't know whether it was a fix or no. But anyway, the Kai Johansson goal, standing right behind it. I was 14-year-old on the bus, on the supporters bus. Can't mind that my brother was with me. I used to go to the football with my brother Tom, and my other brother Peter took me to the cups when I was a wee boy. I remember being on the shoulders, the League Cup finals with Celtic. We won one and they won one. And it was a dangerous time for wee boys to go to football over 100,000 in a crowd. And then obviously we moved on. You were talking there, the 75, I couldn't remember. I remember Alan McDonald scoring the beautiful goal, the daisy cutter, and then I think the referee kicked off the kick-off at something like 2 minutes to 3, and we scored in the first minute, Derek Johnson. So technically, we actually had scored before the cup final even started. And then we moved on to 78. I was doing it the Celtic end with the Aberdeen supporters, standing with my older brother George. And Rangers played brilliant that day, but we were only 2-0 up. And then stupid Peter McCloy hanging for the bar like a monkey, and the ball went into the net and made it 2-1. So I think it was the last 5 minutes or something. Was pretty nervous, but we'd outplayed them to win another treble. And then I heard Southside talking about the 79 Cup final, the Hibs. Well, I was doing it Wembley on the Saturday. We left on the Wednesday and come back on the Monday, and it was the second replay was on the Monday night when we managed to finally beat Hibs. I think it was 3-2, was it? Something like that. So they were great days. After the 9 in a row of Celtic, we moved in and we were the dominant team, and it was absolutely brilliant time to be a Rangers supporter with the Scottish Cup, because in the days the clubs, the supporters clubs, would have a free bus for the cup final. So it was packed. The buses going down to Hampden. Great times.
Aye, special memories, and some of these games.
Yes.
Some of these games you mentioned, Southside there in the Rangers folklore, aren't they?
Yeah. Aye. Without with some great teams in the days, fully Scottish players. But unfortunately now modern football has moved on, and players from all over the world play in every league in Europe. Not just Scotland and England, but every league, I think, is fully foreign players. I don't know what's happened to the production line of players. We just can't seem to develop a Kenny Dalglish or a Jim Baxter, or even, recently a Barry Ferguson. We just can't seem to develop players world class. That's modern football.
Well, I've got a simple view on it. When you think back to the generations, mate, everybody played football.
Yes,
the base of the pyramid is hundreds of thousands of kids playing football.
Yes, that's true.
The base of the pyramid now, you don't see kids playing football. So it's not strong, and I think that's how you don't push up the pyramid. Just my view on it. Southside.
I know, I was listening, I was looking back, I was trying to see it there, and I was looking at the attendances when you were talking about the games there, when you were talking about the 63-64 game against Dundee 3-1, 120,000 inside Hampden.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about the Celtic one, when the 62-63, when it was one each and then beating them 3-0.
Yeah.
And the replay, the first game was 129,000 I've got down here at Hampden. And the replay had 120,000, So it's amazing that you were actually in Hampden with that amount of folk running about you, isn't it?
Well, what they done in their days, Southside, was all the steps down Hampden, the police and the stewards would keep them clear. It was mostly police in their days rather than stewards. And then once the terracings were full, they allowed the staircases to get full. So once you were in the crowd, your chances of getting back out if you were in the middle of the terrace, and you couldn't move, you couldn't go up the way and you couldn't go down the way. Every staircase was blocked. So much for health and safety.
Aye, big crowds, and Fox has just messaged to say there was another one, and he skipped in, so he wouldn't have been counted. Typical. But there you go, he was left there. Special games. And with guys that are playing, you talk about Ralph Brand, Jimmy Miller, Jim Baxter. These are guys that maybe arguably Scottish football at its finest. That was maybe their golden generation, mate.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's where the saying comes from. When you pull on a Rangers jersey, you should know what it's about, because they guys knew what it was about. They weren't really well paid, as I spoke to you the last time when I phoned up. Mm-hmm. They were just slightly above Hearts and Hibs on the wage thing. I think in the days it was all the win bonuses and the signing on fee type thing helped Rangers and Celtic to stand apart. Most of Rangers were always the top players in Scottish football, and I think that was the reason. When they pulled on the jersey, they knew what it was about, that the fans would come, spend their hard-earned money. The day nowadays, you're now paying, you were talking £55 or something for a Rangers-Celtic game. Celtic Park, it's a lot of money to pay for 90 minutes of football, £55. But in the days, the working man would turn up and they would pay the money. It was thing with, from memory, I think they had to make the cup finals ticket, but most of the other games, semi-finals and things like that, they were just pay at the gate. So Hampden held over 100,000, Ibrox 80,000, and Celtic Park 70,000. So you just turned up for a semi-final thing, and you would pay at the gate. You had to go early if you thought it was going to be full.
The funny thing, the three players I mentioned, Jimmy Miller, Ralph Brand and Jim Baxter, I'm not sure where Ralph's, so I need to check that out, but they're no West of Scotland lads.
What's that?
There's no West of Scotland lads, you know, so...
Aye, Jimmy Miller was at Edinburgh, and I think Brand was Edinburgh.
I think he was, mate, and then obviously...
aye.
But they still had that affection with our club, eh?
Yeah, it's just like John Gregg and
Aye,
Sandy Jardine, an Edinburgh man, but once they got the bug of what Rangers is about, and you know what Rangers are about, you play until the final whistle, you run through a brick wall to get the result. Jock Wallace put that attitude into the treble winning with the Gillane Sands and running up and physically being sick. What modern player would do that now, train until he was actually physically sick? I don't think so.
No. AK, obviously the manager mentioned in his press conferences about looking to get the best of Scottish talent in, you know, and maybe we've neglected that. I know you've mentioned that in the past.
Yeah.
Aye. Sometimes we don't realise what we've got in the leagues. You know, we kind of snobbish a wee bit. We overlook them, and then it's only when you see a Lewis Ferguson or an Aaron Hickey or that doing so well down the line, we realise what we could have had playing for us. So it's no a bad thing to, you know, look at the Scottish market again and get players on the park where it means a wee bit more to them. You know, we've got obviously Ross McCausland, his background is there, and sometimes he's over criticised a wee bit for me, but it's players
sometimes
that kind of
under
character.
criticised for me, mate.
Aye, well, but listen, you put on your jersey, you're open for criticism, whether it's good criticism or bad criticism. You know, he knows the standard, and sometimes it means a wee bit more for that boy to put the jersey on where a foreign mercenary can then picking up 30 grand, i.e. Matondo, not giving a monkeys. I know who I'd rather pick out of two of them.
Aye, I get it, mate. I get it. What's your take on trying to get the best of Scottish talent, and if they're good enough, of course, Southside?
Aye, the only, I said to you on before, I've noticed since he went to Hearts, I think the boy Penrice has been really good. He's seen him in a few games, seen him against us a couple of times he's played, and I've seen him on the telly in a couple of games. And he was at Livingston, played left centre back and left back, and Hearts are getting the best out of him at the moment, and he's about the best I've seen. I don't think he cost a lot of money for Livingston when they were getting relegated. So he's the only one that I thought, looking at him now and how he's progressed at Hearts, that I don't know why we never even had a look at him. I'm sure Martindale wouldn't have been hard to ask him, but obviously apart from that, they need to be good. And Lyle Cameron's the one at the moment that we see as the next progression. I like the boy Josh Mulligan that they've got as well. Dundee's 22. And I've seen him, he's good against us and he was good against them, and a couple of other games I've watched him, he's played well. They're playing him a wee bit out wide right at the moment, but he plays centre mid. But our system, we're only going to play two midfielders the way that our style's set up at the moment. So Lyle Cameron will find it hard in times maybe to fit into the team. I don't know, depending on system and who we've got in the summer. Maybe Hadji leaves and it might create an opening for him, but if we can get any more like Lyle Cameron, then I would try and take it. But it's who's available and what sort of price range, Ox, and that's always been the issue, isn't it?
Right, obviously, sometimes you'll not get value for cash, you know, but maybe we've got to improve our scouting also, you know, but interesting. I look forward to the game Sunday. Always look forward to the Scottish Cup, Mr. AK.
Aye, well, a lot of the podcasts, I watched quite a few podcasts, and they're all saying 4 months ago, with Sack come on, that was all they were all on about. Now it's, he must win the Scottish Cup, And I kind of half agree with it in a wee bit. We want the trophy. As you keep saying, we need to start winning trophies, but he's not going to be sacked even if we don't win the Scottish Cup, because he's going to get the summer window. And it's my belief they will now sign another 7 or 8 players. Hopefully, 2 of them, or maybe 2, 3, will be experienced players. And then the other ones will be the range between 19 and 22 with a 5-year contract. So that gives them a couple of years to settle in. If they're good, they're in the team, and if they're really good, they'll be settled on, and the conveyor belt will start, because that's what player trading is. It's a conveyor belt. As Raskin is looking good, you bet your bottom dollar Clements and Toppin will be looking for a replacement for him, because they'll know through the grapevine that a bid is coming. It just doesn't happen on that day. There's built up, and the conveyor belt of player trading will start, and hopefully you see how many of the signings have actually broke into the team now. I actually thought most of them wouldn't actually make it until the now, around about March, April type thing. But he's had to use them prior to Christmas, and we weren't getting the results. Now we're playing well, and we're getting the results. And as I say, come the summer window, I think you'll see more young prospects bought, rather than this £4 and £5 million for a player. And as you've already said, they're sitting in the stand picking up wages and no trying a leg. That's just my opinion as to how player trading works.
I think that could happen, mate, depending on how many people go out the door.
Aye. Well, obviously he's got to create room. He can't have 35 players. I realise that, Oaks, but I think that's what will happen. Him and Toppin will have players lined up the new, and they'll come in at reasonable prices. I mean, that left back he got for Cyprus thing is Brazilian, isn't he?
Aye, he's Brazilian, aye.
Aye, and I didn't think the guy for AC Milan, Shala, would get a kick at the ball, but obviously injuries have dictated that he's had to bring him in. And the other young Moroccan centre forward, again, I didn't think he would kick a ball until the new, but again, Danilo has been out injured that many times that he's had to use him. And unfortunately, my eyesight now, I think I really enjoyed the Fraserburgh game, being with the Rangers family again, but I couldn't actually see the actual ball being kicked. I just could soak up the atmosphere of the actual Rangers. And the Fraserburgh supporters done themselves proud. 1,500 filling that corner. It was really a nice family atmosphere at the Fraserburgh game. Tremendous to be back at Ibrox.
Brilliant. Aye, I'm sure you might get some more in, mate. Get some more in and soak up that atmosphere again in the not too distant future.
Yes, right.
You know,
I would like to slightly change the subject if I could.
Aye, of course.
When I phoned in the last time, we were talking about the Bosman and the Taylor report and the financial fair play and all the rest of it. There was one more significant change when they formed the Premier League. I think it was 1975, wasn't it? They went down from 18 teams to 10. It was then that Rangers and Celtic and Hearts and Hibs insisted that they keep their home gate. Previous to that, the away team would get a percentage. So if there were 30,000 at Ibrox, the away team would actually go home with quite a substantial cheque for Ibrox. And therefore all the money stayed within Rangers and Celtic. And I think that's how, in the last 30, 40 years, Motherwell, especially, I keep using them, but they had a reasonable support. Now they don't have a reasonable support, so they don't have an awful lot of money.
Just a quick question before we wrap the show up. You're an experienced guy who's watched right through, and you've seen the change in Scottish football, and you've seen the leagues change, and we've went to 4 times a season.
Yeah.
Do you think 4 times a season is good for the game and good for the support?
No, but Sky Telly have got a hold of you, Ox. It's as simple as that. They're not going to let you go back to 2. It should go back to 2. They should increase the league back to 16 teams, which would give you 30 games with the 2. And obviously Rangers and Celtic and Hearts or Aberdeen, whoever play the Europe, would play all these extra games. They've now increased the Champions League to 8 games, the Europa League to 8 games. So there's 38 games right away for the likes of Rangers and Celtic. But Sky Television, they'll not let you go back.
Well, remember our deal for Sky's nothing's going to change your life. Just wanted your take on it. Brilliant. Right, okay. Listen, always great to have you on. I just can't believe how articulate, how intelligent and how handsome you are. And then that's your boy.
This is near doom.
I
This
can't
is just a
believe
telephone
it,
call. It's been a pleasure speaking to yourself, folks, in Southside, and my son I was speaking to the days he was telling you anyway. We always blather about how the Rangers are doing, and I think it's as Bob's Bear say, we'll be back, and we'll be back. And I'm quite sure under Clement, I'm glad he's survived so far. And as I say, I think come next summer, hopefully we've got a strong enough team to challenge for the league, because obviously that's the main one. Thanks for taking my call, and God bless you. Good night.
All right, cheers, mate. And AK Junior, did you ask your dad about the name I sent you? Or did you forget?
Oh, I forgot about it.
Oh, you forgot, didn't you?
Oh, stuff. Sorry, pal. I'll ask him the next time I see him. But good to have you all, on.
I think Bob Cheers maybe he might be in just before we wrap up the show.
No, I put that up there because my dad said Bob Bear or something.
Right, sorry.
Bob Jerry was referring to, wasn't it?
Picked up, right. Listen, great to hear from you. I'll say it again. Articulate, intelligent, handsome. What happened, AK?
Do you want me to answer?
I've been honest, Southside.
You stunned him. I was going to ask him actually. Ask him how he hope he thoroughly enjoyed his day that he had there at the Fraserburgh game when he was talking about it, but he'd disappeared. But I know by talking to you, AK, that he thoroughly enjoyed his day at Ibrox that day and soaked in the atmosphere as he was talking about.
Brilliant.
He loved it.
Last word for your good
self. I was just to expand on that.
I can't
he loved it. He loved being at Ibrox again, being at a game again, in amongst the support, and I was kind of giving him a wee bit of running commentary because he can't see at all 5 metres in front of him. So he enjoyed that, and obviously the UB striking up some old songs. He was singing along with them, and he was just loving just being at Ibrox again. So it was a pleasure to be there with him and my boy. But thanks again tonight, Ox.
Last time I seen you could hardly see 5 years in front of you.
Very true.
Him in a wheelbarrow.
Southside.
I know. Thoroughly enjoyed the night as always, Ox. It's good to do Friday with AK and your good self and talk about everything about the Rangers. Looking forward to Sunday. Hopefully we'll get a few of the young boys on or maybe see a couple start. Most important thing, score a few goals early and then that'll be up cruise control. So as always, mate, thanks for having us on, and there's only one team and one crown.
Yeah. AK.
Ox, can I just briefly give my mum a wee shout out? She's not keeping well, but she says she likes to hear her name on here, so keep their spirits up, and thanks again for tonight.
What do you think this is, Glenn Michael's cavalcade?
Well, to say good night, he's much like Walton's in it, saying good night, he's mum and before he goes off.
Give me 3 rings to let you know your name.
You told me he was tight, but I didn't believe he when they flew his body to see how she was doing. Southside, you know what I mean?
Oh, shocking behaviour, you. You go on that phone to your ma.
Aye, don't use us to phone your ma, you. Listen, thanks to AK for coming on. Thanks to Southside. Thanks to AK Senior for joining us. Always great to hear from him. Great memories and some great players he talks about and fantastic games of football. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks to everybody for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.